Imagine a candy store where the owner tells you a candy is magic, that it will double in value overnight, and begs you to buy as much as you can right now. That is basically what Jordan Belfort did, except instead of candy, it was stocks. Jordan was a stockbroker, which just means a person whose job is to help people buy and sell tiny pieces of companies called stocks. Most brokers are honest, but Jordan discovered a shortcut to get rich fast, and it involved lying to everyone who trusted him. He found cheap little stocks called penny stocks, worth pennies each, from tiny companies nobody had heard of. Instead of telling people the truth, that these companies were risky and often worthless, Jordan and his friends pretended they were the next big thing. This trick is called a pump and dump. First, you pump up the price by hyping the stock with exciting lies. Then you dump your own shares once regular people rush in to buy. Picture a balloon being blown up bigger and bigger with excited breath, until suddenly someone lets go and it deflates, leaving everyone holding nothing but air. Jordan built a company called Stratton Oakmont, filled with young salespeople trained to talk fast and never take no for an answer. This place was nicknamed a boiler room, a loud, chaotic office where phones rang nonstop and salesmen pressured strangers into buying stock. They used a script, almost like actors in a play, designed to sound so confident and urgent that ordinary people felt silly saying no. Grandmothers, teachers, and everyday workers handed over their savings, believing they were getting rich, not realizing the stock's price was fake and controlled. Once enough people bought in, Jordan and his partners quietly sold their own shares at the inflated price, pocketing millions while everyone else lost their money. Think of it like a game of musical chairs where Jordan secretly removed all the chairs before the music even stopped. With all that stolen money, Jordan lived an outrageous lifestyle, buying yachts, sports cars, mansions, and throwing wild, extravagant parties that seemed to have no limits. But hiding stolen money is tricky, so Jordan tried smuggling cash into secret bank accounts overseas, especially in Switzerland, hoping nobody would ever trace it. Imagine hiding your stolen cookies in a friend's house far away, hoping your parents never think to look there, except the cookies were millions of dollars. Eventually, government investigators, including the FBI, began noticing strange patterns in these penny stock trades and started quietly listening in on phone calls. One dedicated FBI agent spent years building a case, talking to victims, and convincing former employees to share secrets about how the scheme really worked. Slowly, people inside Stratton Oakmont started cooperating with investigators, trading information for lighter punishments, and the walls began closing in around Jordan. In 1999, Jordan Belfort was finally arrested and charged with securities fraud and money laundering, crimes for lying about stocks and hiding illegal profits. He eventually pleaded guilty, admitted what he had done, and agreed to help prosecutors catch other people involved in similar scams. Jordan was sentenced to prison time and ordered to pay back tens of millions of dollars to the very people he had cheated out of their savings. Sadly, many victims never got fully paid back, since so much money had already been spent on parties, yachts, and expensive toys. Years later, his story became a famous movie called The Wolf of Wall Street, showing the wild parties but also the painful consequences of greed and deception. The real lesson hiding inside this wild story is simple. If an investment promises guaranteed huge profits with zero risk, it is almost always too good to be true. Honest investing takes patience, research, and accepting that prices can go both up and down, unlike Jordan's fake promises of certain riches. Today, regulators like the SEC watch penny stocks much more closely, and rules exist specifically to prevent boiler rooms like Stratton Oakmont from tricking innocent investors again. Still, similar scams appear today online, using social media hype, fake reviews, and urgent messages pushing you to buy some exciting new coin or stock immediately. Whenever someone pressures you to invest right now, promises impossible returns, or refuses to answer simple questions, that is a giant red flag worth remembering. Protecting your money means slowing down, asking questions, and remembering that real wealth is built slowly, not through magic tricks whispered over a phone. So the next time you hear about a stock that sounds too exciting to be true, remember Jordan Belfort, his boiler room, and the balloon that always eventually pops. That is the Wolf of Wall Street scam. Explained simply, a story about greed, lies, and the real cost of chasing shortcuts to riches. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And the wisest investors always ask questions before they ever hand over their money. Real financial success comes from patience, learning, and honesty. not from flashy promises whispered by smiling strangers on the other end of a phone call. Thanks for learning this story with us today, and remember, understanding money is the first step toward protecting it from clever wolves in expensive suits. If you enjoyed this simple breakdown, subscribe for more finance stories explained like you're 5, because understanding money should never feel complicated or scary.